Hi, I'm MJ from Linus Publications, and this afternoon we're going to spend a little bit of time on Laura Loomer. And you may be saying, well, who's that? She's a far-right political activist and very MAGA in a very conventional sense. And she was one of the few people that called out Charlie Kirk when Charlie Kirk was asking for Trump to release the Epstein files. And she was someone that the Ryan Robinson was supposedly following. I'm saying supposedly because there are indications of that, but it's not quite confirmed. So she is more or less a straight MAGA. Definitely, if anything Trump does, it's fine. So we're going to take a look at a few of her angles, and I'm going to be going through the three charts I normally go through. And if you haven't already, you might take a look at a video I did earlier that defines the charts that I use in astrology. Those charts are the transit, the progression, and the solar arc. Sorry, the allergies are pretty bad for me. My throat goes. In fact, I might lose my voice. It's one of the reasons why I was wearing a mask in the spring. Got so bad with my throat. So I want to note that Laura Loomer and Charlie Kirk were sort of about the same age. And they both have the Uranus-Neptune conjunction in their natal charts. Now, just because you have that conjunction doesn't mean that something's going to happen to you like what happened to Kirk, Charlie Kirk. He had other angles that were hitting that in his natal chart. So the progressions, the solar arc, the transits all come around and they touch on what exists in the solar arc and they sort of bring it to life. In some cases, when they bring it to life, it's difficult. Other cases, it's good. So in Laura Loomer's case, she has that Uranus-Neptune, and that can be what? Very rebellious on what? Ideology. So that's a perfect fit. Is it a fit for Charlie Kirk? Yes. Could it be a fit for someone on the left also? Yes. Okay, so just because you have this doesn't mean that you are going to be a far left or a far right. It depends on other things in your chart. So in Laura Loomer's case, she does have the Jupiter as a transit that's opposing that. So that's actually blowing that up in effect. It is expanding it. So any controversy in that is going to be expanded. Now, unlike Charlie Kirk, she doesn't have the sun angle in there squaring it to make the T-square. So that's an important distinction. So everyone pretty much born around that time is going to have other different angles. Some, that might be similar to Charlie Kirk's, but not like his. So in Laura Loomer's chart, right around 919 and 927, she's going to have Jupiter opposing both that Uranus and the Neptune. So in effect, that's going to be blowing up this maybe controversy, if you want to call it that, about the ideology. Now, the next thing she has coming up, which is in the solar chart, which is October 5th, is Mars is squaring both her south and north nodes. Now, this is literally a surge of aggression on her part. Public confrontations. And it's also a catalyst to move, in effect, to surge ahead. So this could be a point where she surges and amasses more followers during this controversial period. And as a note, as I said, it seems that the killer may have been following her and listened to her remarks when she was calling Charlie Kirk out for not listening and agreeing to Trump. Now, the next thing she has is on October 15, and it comes back again as Jupiter trying Pluto. Jupiter, expansiveness. Pluto, control. So she's amassing control. During this period, she's able to bring in more control, more followers, more users that are listening to her. It could also be that Trump is going to listen to her more, although he listens to her quite frequently as it is. Next thing we have on 10/19 of this year is Uranus is conjuncting her sun. This is a really important configuration. Uranus is the change, rebellion, but it's on her sun, which is her identity, and it's an emphasis. So this could be times when she abruptly changes, and it could just be a very harsh time for her. Because Uranus, from what I've found, is that sometimes when you think it's going to bring unexpected great things, it brings unexpected bad things that turn out to be sort of good in the long term. So it's really hard to gauge how Uranus will be acting in her chart. The next thing we have is, it's a solar angle. 11/5, we have Uranus squaring Pluto. Rebellion against control. Okay, we've got Uranus rebellion. Since it's a square angle, Pluto is control. Now, is it control she has or someone else? We're not quite sure. So we'll have to see what plays out here. After that, on 11/7, we have Uranus squaring Saturn. This is a rebellion against structure. So in effect, she doesn't want to be hemmed in. Laws, institutions, things like that. So she's going to be rebelling against that. It could possibly be rebelling against the Trump administration. I don't think so, because she is very tied into them, but it could be rebellion against parts of it. Like before, she was rebelling against, I think it was the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security. So she may come out against one particular portion. We then have 12/7 from the progression. Mars is opposing Saturn. This is where her Mars, her action, in effect, is opposing directions, opposing being able to focus, which means that she has unfocused actions. It's a time to be careful, because she's not being careful. She's acting without thinking. She's not putting any boundaries or gates on how she's acting. And she's not understanding what the results could be. Next piece we have is on 12/8. We have Jupiter trining Pluto. This came around again, which means, again, she's amassing control. Jupiter, opportunities. Since it's a trine, it's good. Pluto is control. So she's giving the opportunities to get more control. On 12/28, we have Jupiter opposing Uranus. In this case, we have opportunities, but Uranus, which is the change, in effect, we're not able to take advantage of those opportunities. So they literally go by the wayside. We're not on the same path as those opportunities. There's, in effect, opposition to using those opportunities. So there's some, usually with oppositions, it might mean you need to make adjustments, you need to compromise. In this case, not having the opportunities unless that comes about. So as I noted, I decided to do Laura Loomer because of her possible connection with this Charlie Kirk killer, because he was supposedly a follower. And I will update the description on the video once we find out what he actually was. But they have said that he was a follower of Laura Loomer's. And Laura Loomer is a strict MAGA Trump loyalist and Charlie Kirk was, except for the Epstein. So it may have been this Epstein piece that pushes it in a different direction. And the killer is supposedly of a different type, of a different organization. And again, I don't know that much about the alt-right. I sort of lumped it all together, which apparently is not the right thing to do. So I need research on that. And thank you for the people that brought out the comments about Utah, Montana, and Idaho. It clears up a lot about some of the tendencies possibly in those states. Thank you. I hope you had a great time listening to this and have a great day. Bye now.